Hello children, my name's Illiard2 and welcome to my Let's Play of EU4, the third Odyssey mod. Yes, finally here. Let us begin. Now, what is the third Odyssey mod, you might ask? Well, you're about to find out. Let us begin. So we're going to play normal mode, Iron Man mode, no points. It's a mod, you know. You can't really get achievements on mods. So, the third Odyssey. The notion of this mod is as follows. In an alternate history, the last Emperor of Byzantium used all the means at his disposal to gather a fleet and search for new lands to settle. How he does this, what he takes along, and the decisions he makes on his journey greatly impact the later stages of the game. As the player continues with a new nation, think about your... I feel like there should be a comma there. Think about your actions carefully, because what doesn't seem to do anything may have repercussions later on in the game. Seemingly easy choices may lead to new issues to deal with. I have tried to simulate interactions with the natives and the development of the technologically and philosophically advanced, fast-growing nation as best as possible without making for boring gameplay, and I hope you will enjoy carving out your empire as more than a mere Byzantine colony, just like I enjoyed creating this experience. That is Lichtang, mod creator. Go subscribe to this mod if you want to see it. It's on the workshop, so you can go ahead and play along with me. So we get Roman flight till the end of the game, which does all of that. It greatly modifies the game. So let us begin. We're going to set it up to level 4 speed, and let us continue. Alright, so this mod is filled with these little decisions you have to make. They're very, very important. And make sure you choose the right one. So this one, for instance, is a Greek fire. A court librarian came forth last night. He gathered all documents, descriptions, and testimonies from the crew of fire ships. This way, he managed to combine all pieces of the puzzle required to recreate Greek fire, and the machinery required to use it. We could take along this knowledge and have a ship prepared to carry a prototype to go along with our own fleet. What do you think, my Emperor? Of course, we'll take it with us, or nah. So, we take it with us, and we gain combat ability of our light ships and galleys, but increase ship costs and naval maintenance, which isn't good. Or, and this is what we will be doing, we can gain ducats and ship supplies and troops when we make landfall in America. So let's do that. Next one, Library of Knowledge. We should consider taking copies of our ancient knowledge with us on our travels. They would benefit us greatly and serve to preserve our knowledge and technological progress. Then again, we don't have an infinite amount of space for supplies and settlers, so we can do Knowledge is Power. I like power, which decreases tech costs and idea costs, which, God, that is amazing. And food would be nice. I like food, which would increase ducats and supplies. Of course, I will be taking the technological decrease, so we can make more technology. Alright, the Silk of Constantinople. Blah, 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 blah. Long ago, emissaries brought us gifts from faraway lands, including the means to produce silk, so we can get trade or more supplies. More supplies. We won't have that much trade in the beginning. Genoese merchants. We should get the most out of our position while we can. There are 2 proposals prepared for the Doge of Genoa. Both offer Genoese ships free passage. Free passage through the Bosphorus for as long as the current emperor is in power. We can either ask them for a full payment in gold, or for some of their fine ships needed to secure the sea routes, of course. I'd say we need their ships. We make a ton of money this way, but the ships, I think, are more important. So we can get more supplies. Alright, Venice desires the Peloponnese. We have, for long, known the Phoenicians who want to expand their holdings in the Aegean. We should consider offering them control over the Peloponnese for a set time, 20 years, in return for a portion of their navy and a one-time payment. This might upset our people, and the lords of Athens would feel their position compromised on many flanks, but this deal would be well worth it. Now, you may think, oh, of course, that's a great idea. You get a ton of ducats, and this is good, but you lose stability, and this way you gain stability. Trust me, you want to go this route. This is an absurd idea. So then you get this event. What is this event? Well, the nobles of Athens are worried about our recent decisions. They demand compensation of their own in the form of land or gold should we pay them off. how about we just give them control over the Peloponnese, so we gain stability, gain 75 ducats, and they like us a bit more. There you go. Yeah, something happened with Poland. I don't care. It's Poland. No one really cares about Poland. Granada demands toll. So, the rulers of Granada heard of our great expedition approaching and joined up with the Moroccans to intercept and demand toll. Their fleet is still smaller than ours, but we'd have losses in a normal fight. With Greek fire, this would be an easy fight without losses. It hasn't been seen in a long time. What should we do? Well, we don't have Greek fire, so we can't fight. We'll lose ships. Instead, we'll just pay their toll. Portuguese strike deal. 2 Portuguese ships sailed near today with an envoy. One of the ships had accompanying supplies, and accompanying supplies and gifts can be used by us on our travels if we share our discoveries with them. They are under the impression we are headed to explore Africa. One of our advisors suggests that we could use this opportunity to trick the nations of Europe, making them believe we stumbled on the end of the world and our last act was to inform them. That way, it might take some generations before curiosity returns. Who knows? They could try to follow us otherwise. A good catch. So we just gain supplies and gold and such. And so a storm approaches. It has been many weeks of good sailing. We were smart to take far more supplies than required. A storm approaches now, though, and it looks like we'll get caught by whatever we do. After a long struggle has passed through it, however, it took one of the treasure ships, or it took one of the supply ships. Well, we don't want to lose supplies, and we can lose that treasure. And now our emperor has died. After surviving the great storm, a number of crew throughout the fleet became stricken with severe tuberculosis. Despite the best efforts of our greatest physicians, Emperor Ionius VIII also fell victim to the disease. While some say that it is just an unfortunate tragedy, others say that it is divine punishment for fleeing Constantinople in its darkest hour. Regardless, Ionius VIII's son, Constantinos, has been crowned emperor and will finish what his father started. Good luck to him. So our current ruler dies, and we gain 1 stability, which we actually don't gain stability, we still lose stability there. So, good luck to him. Alright, so we get this. This is just updating us about who's the new leader. Constantinos 11th is amazing. He's a 635. It's going to help out our country a lot more. A new heir, Basilios 343. Alright, so now we have the Pantheon worship. Now this is where the mod starts to get interesting, right? So the storm lies a few days behind us now, leaving many at the edge of despair. A cleric asked to see you, and you invited him into your quarters. He is a very charismatic man, capable of inspiring men in the face of death, and he served us well in the armies fighting against the Ottomans. So it seems strange that he of all men would suggest such a thing. Return to worshipping the old gods, the Roman and Hellenic gods. He says he studied our history and noticed a downward trend ever since the first emperor converted to Christianity. He states that despite being the servants of God, he did not help defend Jerusalem or Constantinople from the Muslims, and the recent storm can only illustrate the temper of Poseidon. If there are gods, he continued, they must be as flawed and ill-tempered as the old Hellenic gods. We would do best to appease them rather than speak to a god that may listen, but seems not to care. So, we can do, you make a compelling argument, which we become Hellenic, and lose 25 legitimacy, or we can gain 5 prestige and 1 stability, saying, haha, that's a good one. Well, of course, for the sake of this mod, and to feel its full RPG-esque nature, we will convert to Hellenism. Alright, there you go. So, the settlement, some of our ships went ahead and found a preliminary camp. The main fleet will arrive to unload cargo later. All things considered, this expedition couldn't have gone much better. We're lucky to have found land with enough supplies left to last a year. There's work to be done. We gain a settlement in the New World, and the Empire of Elysia happens. And we have Elysia, and we lose the conquest. So, the Empire of Elysia, we have finally arrived at new coasts with no other settlements in sight. We have gained and lost ships in the way, and now, when it becomes clear what impact this has had, every bit of knowledge and technology has cost us dearly in manpower and supplies. There was only so much we could take along. In the meantime, the Ottomans have probably invaded what was left of our home. let us hope we made the right choices. What's done is done. So, we now form a new nation with corresponding ideas and technology and gain base tax troops, ships, and modifiers depending on your choices. So there you go. What's done is done. Our new home. Oh, how did we discover that somehow? Anyway, so our new home, with the help of our oracles, wow, we already set up oracles. That's pretty quick. We have been able to read the signs given by the gods through flocks of birds. Right, that makes sense. Even before arriving in these new lands, the gods have sent us these signs and instructed us to name our nation thus. Let us celebrate with wine and geese. Alright, geese, I guess. Whatever. It is decided then. Elysia renamed to Elysia, of course. Capital of Elysia renamed to Neo-Constantinopolis. New Constantinople. Forgotten homelands. We are no longer aware of what goes on in our ancient homelands. Now, oblivious to the old world, we can focus on the new world ahead of us. Will we ever return? And yes, this is an important statement because this is the goal for the mod, I assume, right? Take over America. Not only that, but return and beat the living crap out of the Ottomans. And retake Constantinople. Because if we do that, we'll win, I guess. You know, that makes sense. So, now we have the Imperial cult. With the recent conversion of Elysia to Hellenism, the time has come for the Emperor to choose his patron deity, proving to the people that his rule is legitimate in the eyes of the gods. So if you don't know, Hellenic gods, or Hellenism in this game, really a lot of polytheistic religions in this game, get to choose their own god that's in the pantheon. So, who shall we be? Zeus gives us missionary strength and religious unity. Hera gives us yearly legitimacy and chance for new heir. Poseidon gives us morale of navies and global settler increase. Hades gives us stability costs decrease and yearly inflation reduction. Ares gives us morale of armies and aggressive expansion impact decrease. Athena, which is really good, decreases yearly army tradition decay and tech costs by 10%. She will be amazing. That modifier will be amazing in the late game. Alright, and Hermes, trade efficiency and trade steering, and Aphrodite, diplomatic reputation, diplomatic relations increase. Well, I'm thinking of going Poseidon because that global settler increase will help us out a lot. So now we got eager explorers, which have explored the area around us, and oh, we got lucky here. No one is in Nantichoke right now, but before we can start colonizing, we need to choose a native policy. What shall it be? So, coexistence, I think, is the best idea. Yeah, because we don't have any troops to really, defend with. We do have those, but I'm not going to be spending any money on them. So yeah, that's a problem. Expand our lands. What does that do? Let's do that. Expand our lands. Awesome. Well, let us continue. Here we are. Global settler increase 500%. That's pretty massive. Okay, so salvaging the fleet. Upon unloading last of the cargo from the remaining ships, our sailors realized that our fleet had taken much more damage in the storm than we had originally thought, and it is in need of urgent repair. There is a debate occurring among the people of the usefulness of repairing the fleet at all, as it will be expensive to repair and maintain. The alternative is that we break down the ship for wood, which can then use to help build the local infrastructure, such as roads and housing, or for building the basic wooden palisade around the settlement to help protect from the native incursions. Now, the natives in this game, or at least in this mod, are very, very friendly. They probably won't try to kill you. Probably. So I don't think we need a palisade. We can either get more base tax and production, we can get the castle, we can get a ton of sailors and ducats and have more trade efficiency, or we can get a metric fuck ton of sailors and get Byzantine ships, which increase basically our navy strength, but we do lose 30 ducats. Now, I don't have that many ducats to spend, so I may do this. that base tax. You know what? Let's do that. We're gonna get base tax and base production increase. There you go. So we are getting 535 per year there. It's going to be done very, very soon, about only 2 years. Let's increase it to level 5 speed and just move on. Alright, forced migration against these guys. We're not going to do that. We don't really have much of an army anyways. Let's start collecting from trade, and the local natives appreciate our pantheon, so we get higher relations with each other. More forced migration. Again, don't want to do it. Local natives bring gifts. And oh god, this is amazing. Yes, 30 ducats. 30 ducats is going to help us out a lot. Because we're currently losing 0.5. That's good enough. So, Susquehannock. Thank you, Susquehannock. Alright. 300, 374. There you go. Trade good is now maize. Maize is a new resource. We have grain here, but maize. It's a new one. So, what is maize? It's corn, if you don't know. Okay, so local natives bring gifts again. We're gaining inflation, which is not good, but, you know, we can deal with it, right? We're at only 0.30%, 0.3%, I guess. Alright, and there's still a lot more to this mod. We just began. It's going to be huge. This series is going to be a long one. I guarantee you it. And look, we have Hellenic. It's purple. Alright, homelands settled. God, we got a lot of stuff. Okay, so we lose that 500 increase and instead go to 250. And the colony is self-sustaining, which gives us 20 prestige. And homeland settled. With the neighboring province of Nea Alexandria settled, it is time to encourage settlers to move there. While this may weaken our capital for a short period of time, it will certainly help with the development of newly acquired provinces. Prepare the convoys. So a huge amount of base tax, base production, and manpower increase, but we do get emigration till the end of the game. Wow. That is horrible, actually. But either way, oh, so look at that. The Elysian homeland. So Elysia gains a core on Nea Alexandria, and we should move on. Probably to Doeg. Yeah, let's go to Doeg. Oh, whoa, come on. Okay, so we got more Casas Bellis. So, New World crop. As we explore Nea Alexandria, we notice several unknown plants and crops that seem native to this world. One of the newly found crops that we deem to call maize seems to have been cultivated by the natives of this region in a most interesting way alongside beans and squash, in a technique called the Three Sisters. We have started to make progress in not only trading for this new plant, but also adapting the natives' planting techniques as our own. We need as many food as we can. I think you mean as much food as we can get? We need as much food as we can get. That's what he meant. Okay. I don't think the guy's a native English speaker anyway by the name. He sounds German? Maybe, Scandinavian? I don't know. Mod developer. Definitely is not English speaking, probably. I mean, he speaks English, but not native. Anyway, so, organizing masses, we now have established a basic settlement. It isn't pretty or all that large, but it is our home now. We have established a basic militia for defending the town, set aside some land for farming, and cleared a local forest for wood. The overseers that run these projects are requesting more workers, however. However, there are not enough for all of them. Where should we send the peasants? Send them to the farms. We will need the food. Focus on cutting down trees, or order the people to join the militia. Let's get more base tax. More base tax. More base tax means more money. Look at that. We're almost getting a positive now. And with a positive, we can actually start funding our army. And that's important. Oh, come on. Stop moving around. This is annoying. That 2 stability is actually really helping us. Like a lot. Oh, there you go. Militia matters. The commander of the city guard has received numerous reports of native raids directed at the peasants who work the wheat fields outside the defenses of New Constantinople. The obvious solution is to send more men to patrol those areas. However, the guard is spread thin as it is, and would leave the city severely undermanned. The militia are rather basic right now, made up of retired soldiers and part-time farmers. but with a little time and training, they could become a significant force in their own right. So we can either save the city, save the farmland, or try a mixed approach. Now, again, base tax is king, so I'm going base tax. I really like base tax, but you know what? I know this has been a little short episode. I'm actually going to try and decrease the length of these episodes to about 20 minutes. So, I hope you guys have liked this mod so far. I definitely enjoy it. I want to continue this on for a long time. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I've been Illier2, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.